Good morning, everybody. How are y'all today? Let me introduce who's with us this morning. We have Mr. Steve Camp, whom is the resident agent in charge of FBI McAllen, off to my right. We have the Honorable Rick Rodriguez, our district attorney in Hidalgo County, off to the far right. Immediately to my left, Sheriff Eddie Guerra, the sheriff of Hidalgo County, and then my far left, Mr. Paul Larville, the chief at South Texas College Police Department. On January 13 of 1998, and just for context, that was in the earliest years of South Texas College as we know it today. Obviously, it's been around longer than that, but in the form that it is today, it was in its earliest years. On that evening, happened to be a registration day. Two people stormed a particular office building, and in the course of that, attempted a robbery of the South Texas College finance office. They shot 4 people in the course of that. 2 of them were female and 2 of them were male. 2 were student prospects, and 1 was an employee and 1 was a security guard on post at that particular facility. The security guard died as a result of that shooting. And since that time, we have been looking to arrest Roberto Ojeda Hernandez. We, since that time, have tracked him into Mexico, and because of the efforts of FBI, we were able to put him in custody in Mexico as early as July of last year. With FBI's assistance to achieve the extradition, and with the U.S. Marshal Service assistance in transporting in the process, we were able to bring him into Houston yesterday and then into McAllen last night. So Roberto Ojeda Hernandez, the suspect in that robbery murder case, today faces a capital murder charge here in Hidalgo County. We will transfer his custody to Sheriff Guerra, and District Attorney Rick Rodriguez will assume the responsibility to prosecute that case. I do want to say this before I move off to any questions you may have, of any of us for that matter. The significance of the arrest now is that it allows us to move the case and therefore the investigation forward. The investigation by no means was complete back in 1998. This arrest now gives us the ability to move this investigation, gives us the ability to look now for all other participants that may have been involved in this investigation, in this particular crime that is, and to, if we can, develop cases against anyone and everyone that was involved in that robbery murder case. The last thing I'll say with this regard, the reason I mentioned South Texas College in its early years as we know it today is because, as you know now, South Texas College has developed its own police department, and that's why Paul is here. Paul is the first chief of that department, and we're very, very proud to be able to work with him. His PD is a great asset to us here at McAllen. So we've all grown in that time, including South Texas College, and we too now with this particular arrest can begin to move the investigation forward. There were 2 people at least that were involved in the robbery that day. There may be others. What this particular development today affords us the ability to do now is to move this investigation forward. And the reason I keep hyping that is because by no means was this investigation completed back in 1998. Now that we have this particular person in custody, we can move the investigation forward, and we intend to bring charges against any and all that may have been involved with this to the extent that we can prove up a case against them.